Welcome, everybody. This is Crypto Happy Hour. I'm Bill. This is the birthday girl, Toby.
So excited.
Right. Welcome to Crypto Happy Hour, where we are going to talk about all things crypto.
Yes. And tonight I have tequila.
Right. We're putting the happy in happy hour as altcoins go higher, as we have told you.
We did tell them, didn't we?
We
I thought
we
I said
told,
about my birthday.
we told Bob. Bob
Oh, hi,
is
Bob.
in the house.
Hi, Bob.
Bob with the brake job, soon to have a completely new vehicle.
Yes.
As he just wildly consumes our research. Okay, don't forget.
What are you shopping for, Bob?
Yeah, Bob, comment down below on the wish list. Right there's Patreon, patreon.com/unhinged crypto. Okay, that's in the description down below. And Bob was on the secret premium VIP live stream.
So happy.
Right, where we did portfolio.
That was fun.
Small altcoins.
I had a lot of fun.
AI sector, exclusive for YouTube members. That's over on my channel. The links are down below in the chat. And down below, the stuff in the chat shows the links to the videos, portfolios. It's like happy hour with the alpha edge, like what to do, when to do it.
And I heard today that some of the members were commenting that they were happy because a lot of the picks that we had in there for the portfolio just shot to the moon, right?
To the moon.
Oh, good. I still don't know exactly what that means,
Up
but
20,
you say it all
up
the time.
20% in one day. That's like, it's like getting a whole year of stock market returns in a day.
That makes me so happy.
Right. So, check this out. Make sure you scan the QR code here. Join the Spartans. Come see us. There's a $4.99 package where you can get a special emoji, priority on comments. Me and Miss Toby check that out. And of course, you want to be there for the exclusive stuff that has got our customers printing. Okay. Oh my goodness. Kim Craig is here. Welcome, Kim. Right. Welcome. Patriot Caveman in the house.
Oh, I like that name. Patriot
Caveman. Right. I have my eyes on a new Tacoma. Kim wants a new car. The Solana Psychic and her large economy size sidekick will get you there.
Large economy size?
That's me. Cetus and DEAI, Patriot Caveman, is into that. Coming to us from Twitter. And Gian, a guy who has materially less credit card debt thanks to Unhinged Crypto.
That
Gian,
makes me so happy.
welcome. Jessica in the house.
Hello.
Jessica, what's up? All right, people.
What are we going to do today, Bill?
Well, what we're going to do is there's, oh my God, it's going down. I can't buy it. Which can be followed by, oh my God, it's up. I can't buy it. Meaning I missed it. I want to dip.
None of these people missed it.
No, of course not.
Because I've been saying it.
Right. You've been like
shots for my birthday.
Right. You've been backing up the giant pink dump truck. And you're like, load it up, boys. Load it up. We're moving out.
Fun. Very fun.
Okay. So a lot of people are probably, first they were scared because it was going down. Now these altcoins are popping 20%. And even though, as we discussed on yesterday's premium webinar, a lot of them are very far away from their highs. So what are we telling?
That's exciting.
It's very, very exciting.
To me, yeah. And we did that in the show yesterday, right, where we go through everything, talk about where we expect to go. But in general, I expect a lot, if not most, there's so many thousands of coins, but I expect most of the big ones to hit their high. And if they don't, then that would be like, well, let's reassess.
Right.
So with the, with this what's coming, like I said, we're going to see things elevate, but then when it really takes off, it'll be in November. So hopefully everybody's ready for that,
Right.
But it's also, again, like I always say, when things are up, that's when it's a good time to weed out your underperformers, right?
Right.
And so that'll be fun.
Yes, that will be fun.
Clean the closet.
I
Marie Kondo that portfolio.
Marie Kondo that
If it
portfolio.
doesn't bring you joy,
Right. If it doesn't
that's
bring
my
you joy.
policy. That's what I believe. If it doesn't bring you joy, let it go. Let someone else have that beautiful point.
from two cycles ago, right?
I know
Right.
we've talked about that a lot. I know you've been asking me about the cycles, but what's super exciting, I did take some time today and see, now that some people were expecting a rise, but I think a lot of people were caught off guard,
Oh yeah.
by
Yeah.
this, and so I was kind of looking, what other people were saying, and there's still a lot of people who are like, "Oh, this isn't going to last," and
Mm-hmm.
I do. There's going to be another small step, but I think after November is unstoppable. So get your house in order, right?
Yeah, people get ready, get on it, get involved. Right. The thumbnail, I believe, says, "Wake up." The alarm clock has gone off. Altcoins, Arrow, all of this stuff that we talked about in DeFi. The term is just popping off. It's like fireworks, right?
Yeah.
One after the other. And listening to you,
Hmm.
it's almost like a dip is a gift. And even if it's like a flash dip, political stuff's heating up. Then again, not to be callous to the human cause, but for crypto, things are changing. Crypto is rallying in the face of epic uncertainty.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. One of the what his name, Charles, was talking about. He laid over last year's um,
Right.
chart and with this year's, and it exactly correlates, which is what you were saying. I think other people are starting to realize that they're just a little later in the game, right?
Right.
Than what, because we've been talking about this in the spring.
Yeah.
And
I don't know how right you were, including me. You were like, "Oh, it's going to be last summer." I was like, "Okay, well, let it be quiet." I didn't know that meant, everyone was going to, I was going to be pulling out my hair in mid
yeah,
September.
but you didn't really miss anything, so you don't really have to worry. I mean, nothing was really going on in the summer. That's what I say. Oh, it's going to be wobbles and just kind of take vacation. But the good thing is if you look at November of last year, look at whatever coin you're interested in. Look at how it did last year,
Right.
and then just assume that it'll happen again. You know,
I mean,
and that's exciting.
yeah, that's unbelievable.
But I'm even way more excited for next year because
Right.
I keep telling you, everything's going to change. Everything.
Yeah,
And we'll get our first taste. The good thing is that this year was easy to predict because it just felt like it was rinse and repeat from the year before, right? But next year it's going to start a whole new pattern. So we'll get to see some real exciting changes.
right, and that I don't know. To me, that feels like cheers. Cheers to the birthday girl. Um, Switched from X to YouTube. Much better here. Okay. Hopefully the audio and video are okay. Let us know if you're coming through. Aiken is wishing you a happy birthday.
Thank you.
So is Kim. Okay.
And today for my birthday, we're all shopping for new cars. So put the car you want in there.
Right. Put the car you want in there.
Maybe one day I'll
Right.
be like Oprah, and you get a new car, and you get a new car.
Right. Well, that is the direction that we're going in.
I'm hoping.
I don't know if we're gonna do Big Boy, but he did a live stream where he actually bought a Lambo. I got to watch him buy a Lambo.
Well, it'd be so much better if he gave it away.
Right. Well, for us, we want our customers to have the Lambo.
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
It's so nice for me to hear, how this is changing people's lives, and that's super exciting because this is the future. You know, it's funny for me too. I have a lot of friends who are crypto curious,
Right.
but still so afraid.
Yeah.
Um, and luckily, everybody who's here and everybody who watches your show, um, we're still in the beginning. So there's so much more
Right. Well,
ahead of us.
the crypto people are like, should we buy? Is it going to go
That's so
down in our
funny.
face? Meanwhile, normies
I know.
normies are still playing around with Nvidia.
That was so much more. I mean, I remember early crypto days and like flirting with the idea of mining. It's just the hardware shit was just too much for me to wrap my
Right.
brain around. But then there was a lot of volatility. You know, now with ETFs, but people don't understand that. And frankly, financial markets are hard for people to understand. You know, I mean, you have a much greater understanding than I do. You know, my gift is the energy work that I do, and
Right.
luckily that translates. I mean, I remember when you first, you know, asked me if it would work, and I was like, "Oh no, I use it on people." See,
Yeah, it was good. It was going to work. It took me about 10 minutes to figure that out.
but I didn't.
You
I
know,
wasn't
banter.
sure.
You
I
know,
wasn't sure.
once you got into banter bubbles, it was all over. But the crying
Oh, I
for
love.
you're right,
I
right.
love it.
All these other influencers. You know, not to be a jerk, but we're going to run them all out of town. You know,
I mean, everybody.
or they're just going to wish they were
But
us, right?
yeah.
Either one, right? I don't know how you want to say it, but
So, anything big in the news that you're concerned about, or other people are concerned about? Any questions you have for me overall stuff?
right.
I have
Well,
my cards if you want me to pull them.
right. Well, I mean, you know,
I'm
I'm a
sorry.
big, you know, I'm ETH. I have
Isn't
ETH.
that exciting? Because
I
what
have
was it, 2 weeks ago? It was
right.
down, and I said, "Oh, it's coming back." We pulled a card, and it
That's
said,
right.
"Yeah." It's
I
coming
mean,
back.
I am. I don't think people understand. People have forgotten because of how horrible ETH traded. Right? ETH went down, and they retrofitted a narrative that there was something wrong with it. So A, there's nothing wrong with it, and B, the macro conditions. What's going on with fiat? Gold goes up every day.
Yeah, I mean, I looked at the chart when you first brought it up to
Right.
me because I was a little shocked that it was down. It didn't seem to make sense to me, which is always exciting.
Right.
You know, it's like if it doesn't make sense, oh, if it's undervalued, then that's a really
Yeah,
good
just
thing to
hoover
get
it up,
into.
right?
Yeah, but yeah, I looked at the chart and I was like, I don't know. It seems like it looks like it's getting ready to go. You
Right.
know, I don't understand. You know, again, I don't see charts the way you do, but that's what's great about our synergy because I just look at it and it feels a certain way to me, and
Right.
you can make sense of it.
Right. I mean,
And
yesterday
that
in a
makes me feel good.
premium webinar, Toby made her foray into live PA. So we're doing Toby and Bill with Lux Algo, and you know, I'll give you the skinny right now. We're not going to give you the coins, but it's distance to resistance, right? In other words, most of these altcoins got 40% to get to resistance, and this is not even mentioning what happens if either Solana, SUI, SEI, they're ones that take off. You know, SUI.
We've been talking about it for a little while, and yeah, super. But to me, Suki is the new Solana, and that doesn't mean that I don't like Solana. I'm waiting for it to pick up. I think it got hurt by the pump top thumb meme coin, the thing, which is understandable. But they got so much good stuff coming out that they're going to come back. If you love them, don't worry about it so much. But Sui is.
Yeah, because I mean, people are forgetting that Solana last year.
I know.
You picked up on Solana at 20.
Yeah.
And Solana was a 10x.
Yeah.
In a big coin, right? I mean, you went from 20 to 200
yeah.
in a very short amount of time.
And I expect that will be the same for Sui. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, do you have any idea what happens to this market, right? What happens to this market if Sui does a 10x? Like what that means overall?
No, I don't. What you tell me.
Oh, well, that's just going to be FOMO, and here's a specific layout.
Mhm.
Individuals may become bearish and gotten out, and they may be hesitant about getting in, which is why we're pounding the table.
Yeah.
Then there's institutions, right? And they have something called like performance chasing. So if something is going up and you're a hedge fund that's measured on how well you do versus the overall market, if something is 10xing, you don't own it, you're going to FOMO in.
Okay.
These are not small people, right? So once it starts moving, right, the energy in the moment becomes monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah, that feels right. I mean, it feels like it's going to be a similar situation to Savannah last year. So.
Right. And this is in particular, like you bring it up November, right? That's close to year end. So, like sometimes with hedge funds in crypto, their entire year can come down to what they do in a month.
Oh, yeah.
And
I can see that.
Right. It's kind of like a horse race or like Olympic sprinters where all that matters is how they finish.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like that analogy.
So there's FOMO on the horizon. I'm dying to know, and I'm sure everybody else is, how do you see the world changing in 2025? I mean, is it like,
Change is so selective. I don't know.
Is it like
Are you
crypto
just
becomes?
Crypto?
Yeah, I'm talking about crypto. Is it like crypto becomes the new tech stocks? Is it like Wall Street picks up on it?
It's going to be a lot. I think
governments.
Governments already are, and of course, the U.S. is going to be a little like I'm trying to remember the names of they're small countries. There's a lot of small countries.
Right, there's El Salvador.
There's one in the Middle East. I don't know. I didn't memorize them, but so governments already are, and I think a lot of governments are probably doing it and not telling anybody. But as far as the U.S., I think the U.S. is going to be really resistant to do anything that competes with the dollar. That's the whole problem. And I know there's a lot of people going, well, if this candidate wins, it'll be better for crypto. And I don't really see it that way because I can be very cynical about politics. I don't like it very much. But the real people who move things are not the politicians. It's the big companies. And this we see over and over again. I can give you a lot of examples. Most recently with COVID. And so if these big players on Wall Street, BlackRock being one, look, everybody in the government hated crypto, it's a scam, blah, blah, blah. And then BlackRock wants in and all of a sudden they're like, oh, okay, no, that's really great. No, we're going to change our mind, right? Because the politicians aren't making the decisions, the big companies are. I mean, so if the big financial institutions want to get in, and they will, especially after this run, we're not going to see a lot of regulations on it. We're not going to see talking and the things that we have for it. That will change next year. If the United States develops a Bitcoin reserve, I think that would be great, but I don't think they will because they never do the smart thing. I mean, that's the smart thing. So if you want to go, oh, what will the government do? Well, it's not the smart thing because they don't usually. But I think the two things I wanted to talk about tonight, and I know this sounds like a change of subject, but it kind of fits in. Where we're going to see the change is when we have more adopters, right? The more people get in, and we're moving away from the narrative. There's still a lot of people, especially boomers, who are like, crypto is a scam,
Right.
It's not anything real. And my response is, and the dollar is. I mean, what is real?
Right.
I mean, I've always known that currency is an imaginary thing that governments make us use so that they can keep track of what we earn and spend so they can tax us appropriately. That's all it is. I mean, back in, the old days, you had a cow and I wanted some beef and I traded chickens for it. This is before currency,
Right.
which made it really hard for governments to keep track of what you do. So that's what it does. And that's the beautiful thing about crypto is privacy. I mean, it's all there, but it's not controlled by the government. They can't
Right.
shut you out when they don't. I mean, so that narrative, I feel like, is going to catch on. And then again, I'm talking about onboarding, which is some real world assets. So that's a little slower, and I kind of feel like that's going to go through the NFT. But one thing that we're going to see some of the deep in stuff,
Right.
and gaming. I really feel like next year is going to be a big year for gaming. There's a few projects that I'm kind of looking at right now, and the gaming. Well, one of them is. Oh, I sent it to you.
Yeah.
The thing on Ton. It's not a penguin. It is. It's some animal. It's a game, and you like click on things.
It escapes me at the moment.
Okay. Well, you guys can look it up. It's whatever. So that kind of stuff is going because I think in that game you earn like points and you invested somehow, something like that. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying.
Right. Everybody got all down on Tom. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's good, but and this is one of the ways that I can remember what it was. Some animal. Anyway, so that's going to bring people in these surreptitious ways, and there's a lot of deep in which pay people. That's just in their little tiny fetus stage,
Right.
So it's so exciting. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm happy about this final quarter because the big push and we had a long, boring summer, but some excitement is going to happen. That'll bring up the public interest. But next year is going to be crazy and in a really good way. It's going to be a really good year next year.
Right. So that is your cue to get involved. Right. We have premium YouTube. Right. We're doing basically live portfolio stuff. So it's kind of like this conversation, but with screen share and portfolio. The link is down below in the chat and it's scrolling. That's over on Crypto Noble. Right. Kobe makes appearances there. Right. We've got one price. So it's like one price to get reports along with AMA and essentially live portfolio
It's
updates.
a really good deal. I mean, it's probably over $300 value. And then the other thing is, do you tell them about the raffle?
Well, okay. It's just members, VIP members are going to go in a raffle where we're gonna pick somebody probably a month from now out of the VIP members. They're going to get a one-on-one with and Miss Kobe. So make sure you jump over to Crypto Noble and click the links in the chat. They're down below in the description.
You're not as excited about this.
I am. Well, I wasn't announced yet, but it's been announced. So
sorry, I sprung that on you.
No, it's happening.
So just so you know, we're such opposites, right? I mean, it's not just about the way we approach the market and stuff. And that is one of the things that we're going to do in the premium YouTube is two different portfolios and talk about our different styles, right?
Right.
Which is fun because some of you may align with me, maybe I don't know, but you're more structured, and so I know that you hate it when I spring things on you.
Hey, people, it's called Crypto Happy Hour for a reason. So, right, where we're pumped up about crypto.
Does anybody have any questions? Did we want to take a look? Is everybody putting their car pics in there so we can go
Right.
shopping?
Kim thinks it's the age of Aquarius.
It is,
Okay.
actually. She's very right.
Right. It is.
Mhm.
Kim is like, Sheila is talking. It is. Okay. It agrees to tell you retail is broke unless there's a stimulus check coming soon. Big money will just take over. DC Precise wishing you a happy birthday. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting us. Now, I have a question because you've been saying repeatedly that, I should stop paying attention to US politics because crypto is a global currency. Now, one of the things that just kind of occurred to me, especially when we talk about mass adoption, you've had huge political shifts in big countries, Brazil, England, France, right? I mean, you have had, dramatic shift to, books that I read in high school, 1984, stuff like that. You can say this, but not that. I mean, do you see, like global adoption based on fill in the blank? Like, people see crypto for freedom. People see crypto for something different, or is it?
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, please.
No. I mean, because one of the only thing about crypto that's been a little disappointing for me lately compared to idealism of the beginning, right, is that the promise of Bitcoin hasn't even really been realized. I mean, it's great that people are trading it. We've got this show and that it's all around that as the investing part of it. But there's so much more to it. We haven't even, it's like early days internet. You know, we don't even know the endless possibilities. So great you're getting in now. And if the vehicle for getting you in was you heard these rumors you can make a lot of money, fabulous. But that's not it.
Right.
There's so much more. And I think I think it's a really great thing that a lot of these countries are replacing their volatile currencies with Bitcoin,
Right.
and I think that's something that'll fuel it. That'll also cause a lot more stability in some countries that are not very stable, you know. And I was listening to somebody talk about the Middle East, and they were talking about how they're probably going to be later adopters in that because of oil, they have to use the dollar to trade. And so I think some countries are going to do it surreptitiously, but it's going to happen and it will change everything. Is that in years from now? Probably, but we're moving so fast, you know.
Right.
Um, it really is like early days of internet. People had no idea, and some people were like, "Oh, that's crazy. What do we need the internet for?" I mean, it was
Right.
like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, there were people in Austin who worked at Dell Computer, right? I mean, it was a computer company. The guy started building computers in his dorm room. And then, one day you woke up and that stock took off, and then you had the Dellionaire, where people who had the stock options, right, were all of a sudden buying houses, which is something.
But it's even more than that. I mean, when the internet first started, so you're just talking again about investing, but I'm talking about something bigger than that. I know our focus here necessarily is that, but the internet changed everything. What was before the internet? You couldn't just order stuff. Remember mail order?
Yeah.
And
Home shopping network.
Home shopping network and stuff. And we had no idea that that was even going to be a thing. And, and this is just another layer on top of that. And as Web3 advances,
Wait, Web3? We're doing Web3? I thought Web3 was canceled.
it was.
Well, no, not for me and you, but for the whole world was like, oh, we're not doing Web3. You know what I'm saying? We're not. If everyone thought that.
Well, they didn't want to do Web1. So what did they do?
Well, I mean, I'm saying people just gave up on it, right? I keep listening to you, and I'm listening to you. It's like channel is I can feel people hesitating when stuff goes up 15%. They go, oh no, right? But I just keep listening to you, and I feel like turning to the camera and going, let's go,
Yeah.
right? Because
Yeah.
if you're talking about a paradigm shift in 2025,
it will be the beginning, and that's why I keep saying wait for 2025. It's really exciting, and
right? But if 2025 is a massive
but it's not going to
paradigm shift,
be. It's not going to be overnight because that's not the way. Excuse me. Because that's not the way it works, right? But we'll start to see it, just like when we first met, and I was like the decoupling, right? And now you're seeing it, right? But it took over like year and a half, 2 years,
right? Well,
right?
you were like Bitcoin's going to decouple from stocks, and altcoins are going to decouple from Bitcoin, and that's pretty much what's been happening, which is why we're doing this like wake up for Toby's birthday, because
Wake up!
people, it's like the definition of what's up is got to be changed, right? Because for the last 6 months, if you bought things when they were up, you got hosed because of this weeble wobble phenomenon. But I mean,
you can only get hosed. You can only get hosed if you give up and sell, right?
Right.
I mean, there are some things like meme coins, they can just die, right? But if you're smart about where you invest, then it'll continue to come back. And even more exciting are the new things that are coming on 2025. I mean, it is going to be so amazing that I'm going to keep it a surprise. No.
right. Well,
I don't know, but I'm telling you,
project,
I'm telling you, DeepIn and gaming, there's going to be some that are coming out now, and I know of a few that I'm kind of watching, but it hasn't even hit its full capability. And that's going to really change things because gaming, I think, will bring a lot more people on board, and DeepIn too, really big way because it allows people. A lot of the projects allow people to physically participate in it. Right?
In the AI revolution, there's a shortage of hardware. There's not enough hardware. There's not enough power. There's not enough everything for AI, right? So
yeah, and we haven't felt it yet, but we're going to start feeling it. So we're all sitting here excited, going, "Wait, when are we going to onboard all these people? When are we going to onboard all these people?" And I'm like, "Ooh, there's going to be technical issues." So look at things that help that solve problems with onboarding and bringing people on.
Right. I can't stop thinking about this.
What?
So I'm gonna
Are you going to charts?
No. I'm gonna try to find the DeepIn device that I want Santa to bring me for Christmas.
You're shopping for Christmas. Okay. Not a car.
There's.
Is it?
I gotta share this. Okay, so for any boomers out there,
is this the phone?
No, this is something else.
Are you sharing the screen?
I am about to. Okay, so this thing.
It's probably like a Game Boy.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. They're gonna have to write BitBoy check for this, but this is called the BitBoy, and essentially what this is you play game. As I understand it. You play games.
It looks cool.
Right. Play your favorite classics on a boomer style game console.
Oh,
okay. And as I understand it,
we're not promoting this.
No. Yeah, this is not investment advice. This is just a toy I'm dying to have. Basically, it's not only is it play to earn, but I think it's also deep. In other words, that hardware device, you're using it or when you're not using it. I don't have it.
Let's hope Santa doesn't bring it for Bill because there will be a drastically reduced amount of content.
Okay, well, there's no drastically reduced amount of content. Like,
I can just he'll be streaming while he's playing his game.
Right, we'll be able to have gaming streams.
Well, that's interesting. I'll look into that.
Yeah, I mean, our content
Because
schedule
that
is
I keep saying that I feel like gaming is going to be a huge way
right. I
to
mean, that's gaming
onboard
and
people.
DPIN, and I'm sure I'm sure the Solana phone is going to get there on
Mhm.
gaming and airdrops, and people do not talk.
Okay.
Right, it is okay.
Because it's like a
If
secret. We're getting
if
people
we
in
get
early.
Bob and Aiken and everybody just in there hoovering everything up, Aiken is in flux. Flux
Oh,
helps with it. That's a token that we have looked at.
yeah, I was gonna say we've looked at that before. I can't remember.
Right. Flux, anything gaming, DPIN render took off today. I mean, folks,
Oh, good. It was so undervalued for a while. I've been
well,
talking about that for 2 months. I'm like, what is going on?
yeah, they just gave up on the whole sector.
Silly rabbits.
Everybody, I think they gave up on it. Now they're staring at it, going, gee, we have to get involved in it.
I
am
really like
literally,
render too for a long time.
yeah, I mean that's a
Yeah.
big rich thing in Patreon. I mean, I am just, I'm on the market update. I'm literally just like shocked. Like, no, the QR code is up in the corner for the YouTube membership. I'm just putting up here, right? You can scan that and get me YouTube membership. Because I mean, when you go to Banter Bubbles, I mean, when the market was rocking,
We'll do a banter bubble show on YouTube Premium.
yeah, I mean,
I think it's really boring, but I think you like it to watch me do the bubble thing.
yeah.
So maybe other people like
people are gonna love the bubbles, right? People just,
Okay.
it's your version of live TA,
Okay.
right? In other words, just tell people everyone has their own way of understanding the market, right?
I'm very visual. That's why I like the bubbles.
Right. So I mean, we're talking about banter bubbles. This is what we're talking about, right? So you can this screen. So as you can see, everything has gone green.
Yay!
Right?
Oh, look at Tia. I like that one too.
Yeah, Tia was down, and then Tia just ripped up, just absolutely ripped.
I think that was in one of the reports.
If you look, it was, I believe. And then if you look at this market over the last month, people, the stuff is still down. Everyone's like, oh, I can't participate. Look at this. Jupiter down 11%. But, Chainlink down 1%. Ohm is moving. And this was all the stuff that was moving last year. Tau, Sui, right? Tau was one of the early movers along with Injective Protocol. I don't know where that is, but I don't want
that's INJ.
Right, that's INJ. I don't know where INJ is on this. Maybe it's not in the top one. I mean, Canvas and Theta, right? Theta is down. All Doge is down.
That's a mistake.
Yeah, like Brett is 2% still.
And you know what? And I wanted to do some. I think once this takes off. No, not today.
Not today.
No, because I'm looking for some new stuff that I haven't seen before.
All right.
Because I think we will have another meme coin pop. And I want to see what looks interesting for that.
Okay. All right. We definitely appreciate that. We're going to leave the QR code up here, and then there's also a QR code for Patreon, right? Don't forget Patreon. Patreon is like our middle tier, right? It's $15 a month. And we're also going to put stuff in the Patreon store, right? So you can do some stuff a la carte. Clearly, the best deal is YouTube Premium, right? Because that's where
so much.
That's where we're just going to be rocking. We're going to do something.
It's a little more customized and in
right.
Yeah.
In other words, it's going to be it's going to be like living portfolio.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm super excited about
Right. Some guys do a lot of trading, right? Some guys do a lot of trading. A lot of these guys have, live trading. With us, it's going to be live shows, where it's like portfolio based,
that.
right? And, I seriously think that if you're ready now, this is just like last year, right? It's like, yeah, right now, people are like, hey, I'm going to get involved. I'm going to study. I'm going to do research. I'm going to spend, 49 or $15 or both to get involved, right? It's like, I can shift. It sounds like I'm shilling, but we talked about this before we went on air. Like, what are we doing? We're trying to help people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, people, I learned this from a great mentor of mine. People don't value what they don't pay for.
Right.
They just don't. Um, and it's also a gatekeeper too, because it allows me to interact a lot more closely with people who are super, super serious
Right.
about what they're doing, and that's exciting for me. So to me, they're just different experiences. I think that you can be successful even just watching our free shows.
Right.
You give out so much advice, and we do here too. And so it's just different ways to participate for me. And I just like the YouTube Premium. I like the idea of it. We've been talking about it for a long time. I almost like spilled it a few times on the show because I feel like it's a lot more intimate and personal, and we can really do a lot more stuff individually there.
Right. And there's, beyond the shill, there's helping people, and then there's helping people get ready now. In other words, do you know how many people last year in January and March were FOMOing into the market, going, "Oh my God, I missed the whole cycle," or the whole cycle took off without me. And then even if you lost money on the way down, it's like, for me, I can tell you right now, there's a sense of redemption, right? It was going to be like last year. Know it was going to be the level of misery of last year. But you know what? Honestly, I didn't focus. I grabbed the phone. I said, "We're doing Sixth Street Crypto." We got on Unhinged, turned that into a channel. But I forgot to tell everybody, you guys are here, but subscribe to the channel, right? You talk about what you can get for free. I mean, if you're in a far off land and the US dollar is too much for you, folks, subscribe to the channel. Turn on alerts, right? We're doing videos. Miss Toby is rocking shorts on her own, right?
Bill's teaching me.
Yeah, Toby has female fans. We've seen statistics that the crypto bros are in the house because, as one of the biggest YouTube influencers told us, right? A man and a woman talking about crypto is getting along, so that's revolutionary, right? Let's do something constructive. That's revolutionary. And then, at a minimum, crypto bros are learning how to talk to a woman.
Oh, that's so funny.
Right, because crypto bros, crypto bros are crypto bros for a reason.
Did Seth say that?
Right. Well, no, yeah, he did. Let's not drop who that is, but needless to say, some of the biggest people in crypto do watch us on Twitter. Okay, and Trisha Elliott on Twitter is digging what we do. And we appreciate that very much. Right. We go back to comments here.
So
give
did you
Trisha
have
some love.
did you have a big question though, Bill?
Did I have a big question? Well, I mean, my big question is always very similar, right? Should we FOMO in now? Right? In other words, there's a,
It's
okay,
not too late. It hasn't even gone up that much.
Right. And the saying in equities is buy breakouts, right? In other words, people look at the market up 20%, and then, is it time to be brave, right? Sometimes people like to buy it on the way down. They like to buy crashes, but they can hesitate, right? In other words, is it just time to get busy? Seriously.
Yeah. Like I said, I think your investment strategy is everybody's got their own unique style,
Right.
and I always say invest in what you love,
Right.
that's really, really important. Um, so if it's something that you love, it's never too late, you know. And there's so many things that haven't even taken off yet.
Right. Well,
Like you said when you were looking at the bubble chart, there's a lot of really good stuff there that's down right now.
Right.
And I'm looking at Solana's popping up in the corner, and I think Solana's going to come back too. So and SEI is also a good one.
Right. Okay. So Aiken is asking, big money takes BTC and the alt-coin market is so high that retail will never be able to and lose interest permanently. Okay.
You know what? That's a really interesting thing too, because it is, when they announced the ETF, right, and even before that, the mass adoption requires some sort of recognition by the larger institutions, right?
Right.
But there is something that will happen with Bitcoin because of that. And I said this a couple months ago. I'm like, once they start moving in, what it's going to do is it's going to stabilize the price. So with all of these other coins, it's fun because that's where long term, that's where you're really going to be able to make money. Not that you're not in Bitcoin. We're still early days with that, right? But it's going to get harder and harder and harder. So for me, I'm really focused on that. Like, make sure you got a really good position in Bitcoin and then grow more through it. Because it's still got long, long ways to go, and it will go up very, very rapidly, but it's going to get, everybody's excited. Oh, when Bitcoin goes to
$13 million.
100,000, which I think it'll happen sometime around the end of the year, it's just going to be like you're just going to get less and less Bitcoin for your money. Because I don't know, maybe we got a couple people on the stream that can pay 100,000, right?
Right.
But I saw this interesting statistic, and I think it was 1%. If you when Bitcoin is fully done, 99%. If you own 0.21 Bitcoin, you'll be in the top 1% of that economy, which is better than being a millionaire.
Right. And I think to Aiken's question,
So get in now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like get involved. Get involved.
And especially that as much as you can. I mean, that would be my main strategy, because it's going to go up here. Just get in.
I mean, I can't understand. Bob is talking about.
Oh,
Bob's actually talking about the Orange Man coin may wake up and went all the way down to $1.80.
Well, I think if he wins, it probably will. So meme coins are coming back. We're going to get another when the insecurity gets over. I always say people seem to like meme coins when Bitcoin gets free,
Right.
and I get a really, and that's why I said I'm gonna look at them, and not a person, but you and I talked. Like, well, I'll give you some of my picks because there's some interesting stuff that there's not a lot of narrative about. So that's always kind of fun.
Okay. All right. I think we're going to have to wrap this up because we have a battery issue.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. All right. So I think I can I think I can go. I think I can sum this up. Right. Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Get involved. Don't let them don't buy into any narrative that keeps you out. Right.
Yeah, if people are talking scary, that's crazy grandma. Put her in the closet.
Right. Get out.
Put her in the closet. Take off your diaper. It's time to ride the bull. I've been waiting all summer for this, so this is super exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. She just said, what she said. If you're not involved, this is a saying from I learned at Morgan Stanley from my boss at the time. It's like, get involved. Joseph, welcome from Brazil. Welcome
Ooh,
to the show. Okay. Toby, happy birthday to you. Right. You had a lot of value. Right. It's great to
it's
work with
nice
you.
that the market is participating in
Right. Well,
giving
you said
credit.
birthday rally. You told me to get live at the low yesterday. So don't forget to get in the YouTube membership because Bill Toby with Major Alpha is in there. So why
It
we
is
appreciate you.
amazing.
It was an earth changing stream. Blue Green 83 is here. Okay, just FYI. Let's see. Oh no, the audio has been very choppy. Okay, maybe it's the shared microphone. All right, well, we'll look into that. All right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. We will see you next time.
Bye.